All right, good afternoon, everyone. I'm meteorologist Kyle Kiel at the 6 News Now desk in the KWQC newsroom with an update on our changing weather as we head throughout the next several days. Obviously, the biggest change you've heard about is this potential winter storm heading into the weekend, but actually we've got a pretty big change happening this evening as a strong cold front is expected to move through the TV6 viewing area. So we do have a first alert day that has been issued for tomorrow from midnight until 4 p.m. for that potential of some pretty gusty wind. In fact, it's becoming more of a likelihood here at this point in time. So we'll get into the details of this first alert day. Again, midnight to 4 p.m. Wednesday for that potential of those gusty winds that will be sustained anywhere from 20 to 30 miles per hour. We could have gusts upwards of 40 to potentially 50 plus miles per hour. So this could lead to maybe some weak limbs that are taken down, maybe some isolated power outages. And also, a lot of you have probably been decorating for the holidays. So you may want to make sure any yard decorations or furniture are tied down with these pretty strong winds that move in. These are going to be winds out of the northwest. So not only is it going to be the gusty winds, but also some remarkably cooler temperatures. And with that cold front moving through, we are going to be talking about maybe some scattered showers moving through. I know a lot of you are likely going to be heading into Davenport for the holiday train. You might want to plan on those winds picking up, temperatures cooling down, as well as maybe a couple of isolated showers that roll through the area as well. So those winds should start to really ramp up probably after midnight. That's when we'll start to get those 40 to 45 mile per hour wind gusts, and that's going to continue through about 3 or 4 o'clock here Wednesday afternoon into the evening. That obviously going to lead to some cooler temperatures as well. There's a look at the next 24 hours. Again, a few of those showers along that front here this evening. Otherwise, we will see mainly dry conditions throughout the overnight hours, but that wind will be the big story. Temperatures drop down into the 30s with your wind chills here early tomorrow morning in the teens for many locations. So sharply colder than those 50s that we're seeing out there today. We've really had a nice stretch of weather here over the last few days as far as the temperature goes. But yeah, this is the change that we are seeing that is really going to kind of lay the groundwork, if you will, for that winter storm heading into the weekend. It's going to be several days of a cold ground with cold temperatures in place that will lead to that accumulating snow here as we head into the weekend. But first things first, we want to talk about the first impact, which is going to be the wind. Those wind gusts along that front will be 20 to 30 miles per hour. Notice that front pretty much right along the Mississippi River at 6 o'clock this evening. And the winds will only get stronger from there here as we head into the overnight. As you wake up early tomorrow morning, winds between 30 and 45 miles per hour. Again, peak gusts could be between 45, maybe 50 miles per hour. Some locations could see a peak gust between 50 and 55 miles per hour. So something that we're going to continue to track here as we head into Wednesday afternoon. Yes, the winds will lighten up just a bit here Wednesday evening into Thanksgiving Day. However, it's still going to be quite breezy here as we head into Thanksgiving morning, as we'll see those winds that will be 20 to 30 miles per hour as far as those gusts. So we'll take a look at that forecast here in just a moment. But let's talk about those feels like temperatures, because with the wind and those cooler temperatures, it is going to feel much colder. So no issue with the feels like temperature here this afternoon. We'll be in the 50s, but as that front moves through, we'll quickly drop into the 20s and eventually teens for that wind chill heading into early Wednesday morning. Notice we'll only top out with feels like temperatures between 15 and 25 degrees in most locations here as we head into tomorrow. So by this time tomorrow, it is going to be much colder. It is certainly going to feel like winter, and it will be a shock to the system, especially with that wind. And then as we head into Thursday morning, yeah, more of the same. We'll have maybe some single digits and teens early Thanksgiving morning. So if you are heading out to the turkey trot, maybe dress more in layers than you would in some of the other years that we've had the turkey trot. And then notice we'll continue with those wind chills generally in the 20s through the day on Thanksgiving, and that trend will continue heading into the weekend. So let's go ahead and walk you through exact track here over the next couple of days, and then we'll talk about that winter storm, because I know a lot of you probably have some questions on that. We'll go through this evening with that front moving through. Again, we'll see some scattered showers along it, but the bigger story here, once that scattered shower activity moves to the east, will be those very strong winds wrapping around that strong area of low pressure and that behind that cold front. Those winds will be northwest, 20 to 30 miles per hour, again gusting 40 to 50 plus miles per hour through the day on Wednesday. It's going to be another day where we have a mainly overcast sky. Could be a couple of flurries that wrap around this as well. Not expecting much in the way of accumulation, maybe a dusting in any of those flurries or brief light snow showers north of Highway 30. But some of our western hometowns west of the Mississippi River could see maybe some late day sunshine here on Wednesday. Otherwise, we have quiet skies here through Thanksgiving Day. So lots of sunshine Thursday morning, but that sunshine will be deceiving with that strong northwesterly wind. And we'll keep it kind of a blustery Thanksgiving Day with those temperatures staying in the 30s for daytime highs. So if you are running the turkey trot, here's a look at that forecast early Thursday morning. Again, feels like temperatures in the teens, actual temperatures in the 20s, and we will see that sunshine through the day here on your Thursday. So it would be an overall good day to maybe stay inside, but I know the turkey trot is a big tradition for everyone, and you won't be having to dodge any rain or snow showers this go around. So let's go ahead and talk about this weekend, because that's what everyone's been talking about here over the last several days. We do have first alert days out for Saturday and Sunday, but this is mainly going to be impactful on your Saturday. What we do know for sure, that cold air is going to be in place. In fact, today, everything's coming in a little bit colder as far as our air mass. So the first notable snow is becoming a little bit more likely. So lots of travel impacts are going to be likely, not only Saturday, but into Sunday as well. Most of that falling snow will be done with by Sunday morning, but the travel impacts will linger, which is why we kind of have that first alert day going. We'll be able to kind of pin down the timing of that as we get a little bit closer. Keep in mind, today is Tuesday. We're talking very late Friday night, overnight into Saturday. So we're still about 4 days away. So a lot can change between now and then, but we have had some remarkable consistency on the likelihood of this winter storm. So wanted to show you a couple model comparisons. Yesterday, these models were a little bit different. We had some warmer air pumping into one of them, and we're not just looking at two different guidances here. We're looking at kind of what we call an ensemble of this. So the ensembles look very similar to the actual output, what we call them here. But notice the consistency here. It's got that rain snow line south of the Quad Cities. There is some indication that we could get maybe a layer of warm air that does move in to our southern hometowns as we head into late Saturday night, early Sunday morning, which could transition the snow maybe into a little bit of a wintry mix or a rain-snow mix, or maybe even briefly to rain. But right now, it does look like that low pressure is going to track somewhere between Quincy and St. Louis. So that track is pretty classic for us to get a decent accumulating snow. Again, it's very, very early in the game here, still 4 days out, to really get into specific amounts and put numbers on a map for you. But it does look like at least a few inches of snow will be possible. And notice the darker blues here on the map. That does indicate, yes, we will be talking about maybe some moderate to heavy bands of snow with this as well. So here's your first alert. What we know, we've got the cold air in place. Snow is looking likely Friday night and Saturday. What we have yet to know, or what we don't know yet, are the snowfall amounts and any mixing that comes in. Like I mentioned, things are trending a little bit on the colder side here. As far as the guidance that we've received this morning into the early afternoon hours. So we are trending more on the snowier side of this system. But the bottom line here, as we head over the next few days and especially into the weekend, travel is going to be heavily impacted, which is why we're giving you that first alert several days in advance, because this looks like a pretty large system that will have wide impacts, not only here locally, but across the Midwest. And we know that a lot of you are traveling. Real quick, wanted to show you this. We've so far at the Quad Cities International Airport only had a trace of snow this season. Normally we should have about 1.5 inches, so we're running a little below normal, but nothing too crazy as I drop my clicker here. But the least snowiest season was actually last season, where we had about 8.2 inches at the Quad Cities International Airport in Moline. The airport in Davenport, about 15 miles away or so, 12 miles away, I think. I can't remember the exact number, but they had about a foot of snow. So a few inches of snow separated the two cities, which is why snow forecasting can be very difficult. The snowiest season was back in 1974 and 75, where we had 69.7 inches. So how will this season play out? We'll see, but I just wanted to give you that little stat here before we move forward. Looking ahead, the 8 to 14 day temperature outlook, especially if we do get several inches of snow on the ground, is certainly going to be trending cooler. And we're still looking at a pretty active weather pattern, not only here locally, but across the Midwest. There are signs pointing toward maybe a couple of systems impacting us next week, maybe not to the extent of what we have around here now, but certainly going to be a little bit more on the active side here moving forward. So there's still a lot that we don't know about this system heading into the weekend. Again, probably around Thanksgiving, we should probably have a better idea on potential snowfall amounts, and that's likely when you'll see the first numbers being posted from the First Alert Weather Team. But again, this is going to be something that we continue to update. Looking at a couple of comments here. Paul is saying, even though the ground is warm, will the snow accumulate more or less? Again, this is still 4 days away. So tonight, those temperatures cool down into the 20s, and low 30s, upper 20s. And the next several mornings will be in the 20s, even some teens possibly, with highs only getting into the lower to mid 30s. So the ground is certainly going to cool down. It doesn't take a long time for that ground to cool down. So we do think that the ground will be cool enough for that snow to accumulate. So a lot of different aspects here moving forward. If you have any questions, if you're watching the Facebook Live, you can post them. We'll kind of go back and answer them. And of course, we will have the latest update to the first alert forecast, which is again trending colder here. Thanksgiving weekend and beyond. So Chief Meteorologist Eric Maitland will have that update along with Teresa Bryant at 4, 5, 6, and 10 o'clock this evening. And of course, you can get updates anytime on kwqc.com as well as on the KWQC First Alert weather app. We thank you for joining us, and again, stay up to date on the weather.